Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sustainable Supply Chain series by International Supply Chain Education Alliance. I am Rashmeet Kaur, one of the ambassadors of the Certified Sustainable Supply Chain Program, the new certification launched by this organization, and also an ambassador and somebody who really likes interacting with people and innovators, change makers, particularly who are working in the sustainability field and are doing a much needed bit for our future generations. So on that note, today I want to welcome one of my colleagues, pals, and people. I don't say that to him often, but I look up to him, Kohal Mangu. Welcome to this discussion, Kohal.
Hi everyone. Hi Rashmeet. Glad to be here.
Amazing. So for all those who do not have the honor of knowing this amazing person, allow me to introduce to you all. So Kohal is an experienced director with a demonstrated history of working in the manufacturing industry. He's skilled in management, strategic planning, business strategy, leadership, and project management. He's a strong professional with a master's degree focused in construction management from the National Institute of Construction Management and Research. He's also one of the cohort members of Advanced Management Program in Manufacturing and Operations from the Indian School of Business. But today, most importantly, we are here to discuss about his journey at Ayasya Eco, where he's the founder and director. So welcome again, Kohal, and I'm so excited to start this discussion with you.
The same here.
Okay, so let's just get to the basics and get started with the first stuff. Tell us about your work, Kohal. Tell people about this amazing company, Ayasya Eco, and what is it that you do?
Okay. So my work primarily revolves around sustainable product development. I run a company called Ayasya Eco, and the company majorly focuses on innovative techniques to reduce the plastic menace in this world. Ayasya Eco focuses on downcycling. We recycle plastic into paver blocks, replacing the traditional paver blocks, which are made out of cement concrete, where limestone is used as a raw material, which is a natural resource. We here are contributing to circular economy, taking an unconventional approach, trying to create a sustainable living. Generally, what we do is we procure plastic from the dump yards, or rather, you say rag pickers, then sort it, then clean it, wash it, dry it, then mix it with certain chemicals which enhance the properties of plastic, then extrude it and mold it. Till date, we have manufactured around, what do you say, around 300,000 square foot of tiles. That equals to recycling around 300 tons of plastic.
That's a great number, 300 tons of plastic. It's definitely much more that's needed in this universe right now. But I'm so glad you have started your journey and you've been able to make that mark. So kudos to that. Kudos for that and the amazing work that you do. And I also love the name Ayasya Eco. So yeah, thank you for telling us about it. Let's just kind of dig deep and connect to the sustainability propaganda here. You talked about the interface with circular economy, undoing the plastic menace, but let's just, for the benefit of our listeners, try to understand how exactly this detail of the work that you said associate with the sustainable development goals. How do you align to the UN SDGs?
Right. So when we talk about sustainable development goals, there are 17 sustainable development goals. Let me name them for you. One is no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent economic growth, industry innovation and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions and partnerships for goals. So we at ISCEA Eco comply to 8 of them. One is gender equality. Here at ISCEA, we believe in equal opportunity. More than 60% of our employees are women. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. We are manufacturing tiles from single use plastic, the plastic that cannot be reused. I can proudly say we are one of the first few companies or organizations to do so. Sustainable cities and communities. Paper blocks are used in smart cities like Hyderabad, Kanpur, Indore instead of polluting water and land. Responsible consumption and production. We use the plastic from the dump yards and create innovative products out of it. The climatic action. We all know what plastic does to our world. It has been seeping into every bit of our world and our lives, and we are making sure we use it, or we make good use of it. By reusing plastic, we make sure the climate action gets taken care of. Life below water. We all know how plastic is messing up with the ecosystem down below. We ensure instead of the plastic going into the oceans get reused itself here itself. Life on land. We procure plastic from the dump yards where they just lie around releasing poisonous gases like nitrogen dioxide and sulfur dioxide. Partnership for goals. We partner with urban local bodies, and organizations that are first-hand manufacturers of plastic. So this is how we comply with the sustainable development goals.
That's a really big amount. I mean, I talk and interview a lot of entrepreneurs and innovators, and a lot of organizations, particularly startups and change makers, are working much aligned to the sustainable development goals. But I think with your organization, you're kind of hitting the nail on the head, because you are in one go catering to 8 of them, and we just heard about that. So that's some fantastic work you're doing there. It's just a reminder. And the one that I particularly really like is the first one that you talked about, that is the gen
Equality.
the gender equality part, because you make sure that all of the work in the manufacturing industry is not just done by men. And for a very long time it has been an industry dominated by men, but here comes this person who runs an amazing startup and a manufacturing plant with 60% of women in them. So that's just fantastic. Kudos for it, and thank you for actually sharing that with us and the world and the listeners who are actually listening to this. Okay, so you talked about partnerships for goals, and that kind of brings me to the next bit and the question: who would you say are your current clients or client buckets that you have currently?
So the government of India has come up with initiatives like smart cities, which actually revolve around the concept of sustainability and circular economy. I would say our clientele till date are pretty much smart cities like Hyderabad, Kanpur, which I've already mentioned before, and urban legal bodies, and a few players in the real estate sector who contribute towards sustainability.
I think that's a nice industry to start with, because that's also one of the I mean, I think you're catering to the demand in the real estate and the construction industry, which are a big contributor to the excess waste and the plastic that is either used in the process or produced as a product of it. And definitely creating a product, like as a part of the circular economy, creating a product that finally, gets used in these smart cities. That's amazing. So you are serving B2G one, and definitely as from an industry perspective, you're dealing with the construction industry. And I think as you expand your product portfolio, you should definitely be able to kind of transverse more across industries. And that part kind of brings me to the next question: how does the market look like to you in entirety?
So the market, I think, is now ready towards sustainable products like this. The only thing that we need to do right now is create awareness. Customers out there have to know that there's a product like this which is actually available and which will actually help you reduce the plastic footprint. See, we here are into sustainable product design, as we know that there's a need for this, not only from the social perspective, but also from an economic perspective.
Exciting. I mean, I am with you on that thought process. Even I feel that there's a lot more that can be done in this space. So that's something we'd like to understand, and we'd like to see your organization kind of go ahead with that. And let's kind of dig deep into this and try to understand from you say that the market is ready. Yes, it's we just need to create awareness for that. But from a future product portfolio expansion perspective, what would be your comments as your direction?
Future is all about leveraging sustainable product innovations and designing products that are a part of the circular economy. And see, we're making sure that we are replicating technologies that mimic the beautiful technologies of nature. I'm talking about biomimicry, I'm talking about 4D printing. Having said that, as a company, our approach right now is focusing on reducing the plastic menace and expanding our portfolio. I mean, product portfolio. In 5 years down the line, we are looking at manufacturing park benches, roof tiles, spaces for the construction industry, and blocks. So right now, at present, I can say we run a facility with a capacity of 1,200 tons per year. We recycle 1,200 tons of plastic per year when run in full capacity. We are in talks with a couple of urban legal bodies, and we intend to set up 3 new facilities with the same capacity by the end of this present financial year.
That's something so huge. I mean, that's going to expand capacities. And these are the kind of capacities that I love to see expand. Um, and that's a great plan that you have there. A very intensive portfolio, also very varied portfolio in the next 5 years. And I can't wait. You'll be here. I'm going to be here. I would love to interview you again when you become like even a bigger, bigger shot. And we can talk about the greater footprint that you have been able to undo from this planet. So, thank you for sharing all those plans with us. It's such transparency. Towards the end of it, this is a personal question. I want to understand from you why you were intrigued into this line of work that you do. Just why?
So I'm a civil engineer by education, and by profession I have worked in the mechanical industry or the manufacturer industry for a good 7 8 years. So I always, and I am a passionate traveler. I have traveled many parts of the world, and I have actually seen what plastic has done to the world. So I always wanted to do something innovative that will actually help the environment and which will be useful to the society as well, at the same time generating a good revenue. Thus, ISCEA Eco came into existence, came to life in the year 2020.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, as a fellow traveler, I feel the same. We have seen it firsthand when we, especially in India, when we see commercialization of all these tourist spots, and you see the kind of waste that is generated in the process. It kind of takes away, and it felt so bad every time, that what is happening, this massive commercialization of tourism of these beautiful places. It's kind of messing up with the ecosystem. I love that you were able to think of this, and you were very passionate about it, and you were able to kind of create a business model around it. What I really love, I mean, this is just for others who are also listening. A lot of us might share this passion. A lot of us have this desire. Even I had the understanding, and I understood that there's a need to work towards it, but I didn't know how do you create a business model around it. So in sustainability there are three pillars. Obviously there's a pillar about environment, there's a pillar about equity, resource distribution, but the most important pillar is the economic pillar. And I think the change makers who there are a lot of change makers in the head, but the change makers in the world who are actually doing something about it are the ones who are able to figure out the economic pillar and are able to create a business model around it. So congratulations, Kohal, on being one of those people. And just good luck with great work that you do. And I think this has been like a very interesting, quick conversation. I think it's one of the conversations people would love to listen on their way to work and then kind of get inspired to do something amazing of their own for this world. So thank you so much for joining us, Kohal.
Thank you, Rashmeet. Conversations with you are always interesting and fun. You have a great day too.
So thank you so much, and we'll come back with more change makers like Kohal very soon again. And thank you so much, International Supply Chain Education Alliance. You kind of brought this certification into our life, and I'm very proudly and glad to say that Kohal is also one of those people who got certified very recently. So if you are like us, go ahead, uh, get yourself certified. It's going to give you a lot of new ideas, and it's also going to open your avenues. I know that there are a lot of other folks and passionates like us. So thank you so much for joining us, Kohal, and thank you so much for listening, everyone else. We'll see you soon.